Before the trophies, before the records, and before the world knew his name, there was only a little boy from a small island called Madeira. On February 5th, 1985, a child was born who would change football forever. But Cristiano was not born into greatness. He was born into struggle. His father worked hard, and his mother sacrificed everything just to give their children a better life. They had little money, but inside their home, there was something stronger: love. And then, Cristiano found something that would change his life forever: a football. While other children played for fun, Cristiano played like his future depended on it. He was small, skinny, and different, but he had one thing nobody could teach: hunger. The streets of Madeira were his first stadium, and the football was his first dream. Nobody knew that this little boy would one day become Cristiano Ronaldo. But behind the dream, there was pain, and the road ahead would not be easy. For most children, football was just a game. But for Cristiano, it was everything. Every morning, every afternoon, every night, he wanted one thing: to become better. His family saw something different: a talent, a passion, an obsession. But talent alone would not be enough. Cristiano needed a chance. At just 8 years old, Cristiano joined Madeira, the first club where the world began noticing him. Coaches quickly realized this boy was different. He wasn't just playing football. He was fighting to become someone. But Cristiano had a problem. He was smaller and weaker than many players his age. Instead of giving up, he worked harder. He trained longer. He refused to be ordinary. Soon, people around Madeira started talking about a boy who played like a professional. But his biggest challenge was still waiting. Because one day, Cristiano would have to leave everything behind. The island that created him could no longer contain his dreams. The next step would change his life forever. At just 12 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo faced the hardest decision of his young life. To chase his dream, he had to leave the island he called home. He was moving hundreds of kilometers away to join Sporting CP, one of Portugal's biggest clubs. But dreams come with sacrifices. And for Cristiano, the sacrifice was loneliness. Every night, he missed Madeira. He missed his mother. He missed his family. Many children would have gone home, but Cristiano stayed because he knew his dream was waiting. In Lisbon, he was surrounded by players who were also dreaming, but Cristiano had something different. He trained harder, ran faster, and demanded more from himself than anyone else. But there was another challenge: his accent, his background, and the fact that he was just a kid from Madeira. Yet every time he stepped onto the pitch, everything changed, because football was the language he understood. Slowly, the boy who arrived alone started becoming impossible to ignore. The lonely boy from Madeira was turning into Portugal's next football sensation. But before the world knew his name, Cristiano had to overcome the biggest challenge of his childhood: a problem that almost stopped his dream forever. Just when Cristiano Ronaldo was beginning to rise, life gave him his biggest test. At only 15 years old, Cristiano discovered something was wrong. Doctors found a heart condition, a problem that could have ended everything. For many young players, this would have been the end of training, the end of football, the end of the dream. But Cristiano Ronaldo had never been someone who accepted defeat. He underwent surgery, a procedure that would decide whether his football journey could continue. The operation was successful, but Cristiano was not finished fighting. Just days later, he was back training. Because football was not just his passion, it was his purpose. The boy who was told he might lose his dream returned even stronger. This was the first time the world tried to stop Cristiano Ronaldo, and the first time he proved it couldn't. After surviving, Cristiano returned to sporting, but now he played with a different mentality. The heart problem that almost ended his career actually created a stronger Cristiano Ronaldo. But surviving was only the beginning. Soon, one unforgettable match would introduce Cristiano Ronaldo to the world. In 2003, a young Portuguese winger was about to play the most important match of his life. Sporting CP was facing Manchester United, a club full of legends, a club that Cristiano dreamed of one day playing for. Nobody expected the skinny kid from Madeira to steal the entire show. That night, Cristiano played with no fear. Step by step, he destroyed every defender standing in his way. Manchester United's players could not believe what they were watching. After the match, the conversation was clear. Manchester United needed this player. The United players asked their manager one question: can we sign him? For Sir Alex Ferguson, it was simple. He had seen something special. At only 18 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United. But England was different. The football was faster, the pressure was bigger, and the world was watching. Many questioned him. They said his tricks were unnecessary, that he needed to become stronger. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Manchester United, he was talented, but he was not yet the legend the world knows today. He had the skills, the speed, and the confidence, but critics said he needed more. Instead of becoming angry, Cristiano became obsessed. Every weakness had to become a strength. He changed his body, he changed his diet, he changed his mentality. Training was no longer something he did, it became his lifestyle. His teammates noticed this young player was different. Then came the moment that changed everything. The tricks became goals, the talent became results, and the teenager became a superstar. In 2007, Cristiano reached another level. He was no longer a promising youngster. He was now one of the best players in the world. Then came 2008, the year Cristiano Ronaldo reached the top. He scored, he conquered, he won the Ballon d'Or. The boy who once cried alone in Madeira was now the best footballer on earth. But Cristiano Ronaldo was not satisfied, because greatness always searches for a bigger challenge. And soon, a new chapter would begin. After conquering England, Cristiano Ronaldo wanted a new challenge, a bigger stage, a place where legends were born. In 2009, the football world changed forever. Cristiano Ronaldo joined Real Madrid. The price was enormous. The pressure was even bigger. But Ronaldo was not afraid. He had already learned how to turn pressure into power. At Real Madrid, he became something different. Not just a footballer, but a phenomenon. Every season, the numbers became unbelievable. More goals, more records, more history. But Ronaldo's biggest battle was not against defenders. It was against perfection. And during this era, football witnessed the greatest rivalry ever. Every goal, every trophy, every record pushed them both higher. But Ronaldo wanted something that had escaped him, a Champions League with Real Madrid. Then, the impossible happened. Real Madrid returned to European dominance. 3 Champions League titles in a row, a record that shocked football. The boy from Madeira had become the king of Madrid. But Ronaldo's greatest challenge was still waiting, because before his story was complete, he had to achieve something with his country. Club football had given Cristiano Ronaldo everything, but one dream was still missing. He wanted to lift a trophy with the country that gave him his name. In 2004, Portugal hosted the European Championship, and 19-year-old Cristiano was living his dream. But football can be cruel. He cried because the dream was so close. Years passed, but the pain remained. World Cups came, European Championships came, but Portugal always fell short. Then came Euro 2016. Portugal was not the favorite. Nobody expected them to win. But Cristiano believed, and he carried an entire nation. In the final against France, everything changed. An injury forced him to leave the field, but not even pain could stop him. From the sidelines, he became more than a player. He became Portugal's heart. When the final whistle blew, Portugal were champions. The boy who once cried after defeat was now crying because he had finally won. But Cristiano Ronaldo was not finished, because after conquering Europe, he would chase one final dream, the ultimate prize, the World Cup.